I'm here today with Bernard MacLaverty, who is the author of next week's play, and it's a great pleasure to have you here, Bernard, to be doing your play, The Woman from the North.
Thank you, David.
Can you tell us a little bit about the play?
I suppose I remember once teaching a class, and this was a kind of third year class, and we were trying to arrive at a definition of fiction. And this girl said, "Sir, it's made up truth." And I thought, that's wonderful. So in this play, in a way, there's an element in it of the truth of what you have experienced in your own life. I had a similar problem with deciding about whether or not my mother should be looking after herself or going into a home. I see the Sopranos also had the same problem in their first series. But so what I was using was the truth that I had experienced, plus manufacturing it in a made-up way, so that the character became a person in herself, and the male nurses became real people, and the son became a real person. So it began life as a short story in the collection, the last collection called Matters of Life and Death, and then somebody said, "Oh, that voice that begins the play, they're watching me," you know, could work very well on radio. And I wrote it up as a radio play for BBC Northern Ireland, and now comes the opportunity to actually put it on stage. Now, I'm not great at stage. I have had little or no practice. I've gone to theatre many times, but not with the same frequencies as I've gone to, say, cinema.
Right.
So I've had only one other play, which was on in the Tron in the mid-80s, I think it was, Phone Fund Limited, which was a spurless, well, and funny, I hope, piece of two elderly women who, the play was set before phone sex was invented. I think I invented phone sex. God, shame on me. And it was the Tron were looking for plays that were cheap. And,
well, there's a thing.
And this had only two characters, and it was very cheap.
Right. So. Although you say that you don't have a lot of experience in theatre, recently you have turned to the stage in opera. You've written a short opera which was done at Oranmore with Scottish Opera,
yes,
which was a tremendous success, with that marvellous young composer from Northern Ireland.
Yes, from Armagh.
From Armagh.
Gareth Williams.
Gareth Williams. Yeah. And you are now collaborating with a Russian composer on your second short opera.
Yes, with Vitaly Kodosh. And I think that's something to do with the link between Glasgow and Rostov,
yes,
the twin cities,
yes,
and that there must be kind of wee pockets of money there to finance cooperation and collaboration.
yes.
So it came about that Vitaly Kodosh had seen the first 5:15 and wanted to become involved, and Alex Reed invited him if he had something that he wanted to make an opera about, and he very definitely said yes. There was this chapter 18 of a great Russian novel called Life and Fate, the way Russian novels are called, things like that.
Or
Life and Fate by Vasily Grossman. And all I had to do, it was a kind of craft job rather than a creative job of taking a wonderfully written piece and converting it for stage. So I think it works.
Good.
And Aberdeen will tell next month.
Yes, and then Oranmore, of course.
And Oranmore after that.
Yeah.
And Edinburgh.
You have, with your, although you're perhaps best known, famous I should say, as a novelist, you have felt moved to turn two of your novels into films.
Yes, yes.
So you do have a hankering for not only writing it but seeing it.
Yeah, there's a writer, an American writer I loved, Flannery O'Connor, and she had a saying, I can't remember where it's from, but that all fiction is a series of pictures. And that's what the cinema is.
Yeah.
It's one set of pictures following another.
Yeah.
In prose fiction, what happens is that you sit down to a book and you read it, and then if it's well written, then you get a series of pictures.
You make your own movie.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
A cheap version again.
Yeah.
And that's what storytelling is about, I think.
Yeah.
And the same thing on stage, except that there are different techniques and different crafts that bring it alive. The first novel and Cal, the second novel, were both made into films. And I was really foolish. I thought this is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
That you wrote a novel and then you could make a screenplay out of it, and then it would be made.
Yeah.
And this happened to me twice. So
well, you see, it's what you don't know that stops it happening. Or lets it happen, I should say.
So, having written the screenplay and had two screenplays made, I always kind of hankered after, could I ever direct? Mm-hmm. Could I ever be in charge of my own material? Mm-hmm. And an opportunity came up about 5 years ago to make a short film, a 15-minute film. Mm-hmm. And we got finance from Northern Ireland, from the Film Board in Northern Ireland and from Scottish Screen. Mm-hmm. And from the Arts Council, and we made a short film called By Child.
Yes.
And I directed it.
Yeah.
So that was a great experience to work with actors.
Yes. Now you've been sitting in rehearsals here a little.
A little.
Could you see yourself getting an appetite to direct a play?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's it. Well, insofar as people who write, I think, have a vision of what it is that they've done. Yeah. And therefore, you're sort of, if somebody says a line or does something that you had not imagined, then you want to try and turn it around until it's the way you imagined it. So
sometimes it happens the other way. That an actor says a line in a particular way and you think, I haven't thought of it like that.
But I agree with that as well. But the thought of directing is an interesting one,
I think I might be feeling the sort of commissioning on air coming up here. Perhaps you'd like to write us another play for next year and direct it yourself.
Well, okay. Well, no, I'll not say okay because
because you're on video.
Yes,
I might hold you to it.
Well, I think you need to have a completely compulsive idea.
Yes.
And for it to drive you.
Yes.
And I don't have that idea yet.
But now that you know the door is open.
Yes, I think,
Anyway, I thank you for talking to me today, for giving us the play. And I would urge you to come and see it next week by all Bernard's writing. It's beautiful. And I think you'll have a memorable experience. Thank you, Bernard.
Thank you.